daughter of the sun and moon. Abazin Tales. Once upon a time, there was an old man named Iskak. He had 3 sons. The oldest was named Kodzebekar, the middle one was Mkamit, and the youngest was Solomon. Every spring Iskak planted millet in the field. But when the harvest was ready, someone came at night and ate all the millet. In the morning, Iskak and his sons found only bare ground. Iskak didn't know who was eating his millet. The next year, when the millet was ripe, Iskak said to his oldest son Kodzebekar, "Please watch the field tonight. We need the harvest." Kodzebekar went to the field. He walked around the millet, got tired, lay down to rest and fell asleep. In the morning, all the millet was gone. The next year, Mkamit went to watch the field. He also fell asleep, and again the millet was eaten. On the 3rd year, Solomon, who nobody took seriously, asked his father, "Father, when the millet is ready, let me watch the field." Iskak laughed and said, "You are scared even when you sleep at your mother's feet. How can you watch the field?" But when the millet was ready, Iskak thought, "Let Solomon watch the field. He probably can't do anything good, but I will fulfill his wish." Iskak called Solomon and said, "Solomon, go guard our field. Be brave." Solomon was happy and said, "I am already a man." He took a rope and went to the field. He hid at the edge and waited. At midnight he heard the sound of hooves. Solomon looked out carefully. A group of horses came, led by a beautiful stallion. The stallion said to the horses, "Let's eat all the millet so that the ground is completely bare, like in past years when we left only stubble." Solomon heard this and stayed still, holding the rope tightly. The stallion said, "Wait a moment, I will check if someone is watching." The stallion came towards Solomon. When the horse got close, Solomon threw the rope over its neck. The stallion tried to escape, but Solomon held on tight. As the rope began to choke him, the stallion begged, "I have never met a man who could defeat me. You have won. Let me go, and I will give you 3 beautiful horses. I will not eat your millet anymore. Pull a hair from my mane. When you need me, hold it over the fire, and I will come to you anywhere." "Okay," said Solomon, pulled a hair from the stallion's mane, and let him go. He took the promised horses and went home. Iskak was happy and harvested his millet. From that day on, no one ate his millet. Time went by. The prince of a nearby village sent people to buy horses. When they saw Solomon's horses, their eyes sparkled. "Sell us your horses. Name a price and we will pay." The buyers gave Solomon the money he asked for and took the horses. When the prince saw the horses, he asked, "Where did you buy such horses?" From Solomon, the men replied. "Where does he live?" asked the prince. "In such a village," they answered. The prince wrote Solomon a letter. "As soon as you get this letter, come to me immediately," gave it to his men and sent them to Solomon. What could Solomon do? As soon as he got the letter, he set off, taking food for the road. On the way, Solomon remembered the hair from the stallion. He took it out, lit a match, held the hair over the flame, and the stallion came rushing to him. "Get on me." The stallion was a magical horse. He flew fast with Solomon. As they rode, Solomon saw something shining in the distance. "I will pick it up," he thought, but the stallion said, "That shining thing is an eagle's feather. Even if you like it, do not pick it up." Solomon did not listen. He reached the feather, got off, picked it up, and put it in his pocket. The feather lit up everything around. With the feather in his pocket, Solomon went to the prince. When Solomon arrived, he got off his stallion and entered the prince's house. Solomon was a guest of the prince. When the nobles thought the prince liked Solomon very much, they said, "The feather in Solomon's pocket should belong to you. You deserve it more than he does. If Solomon really loves you, let him give the feather to you." The prince called Solomon and said, "Give me that feather on your chest." Without saying a word, Solomon gave the feather to the prince. The nobles were not satisfied. They said to the prince, "If Solomon loves you, why doesn't he bring you the eagle that dropped this feather?" The prince immediately summoned Solomon and said, "The feather you gave me is not enough. Find me the eagle that dropped it." When Solomon heard this, he did not know what to answer. He held his head and went to his magical stallion. The stallion asked, "Why are you so sad?" Solomon told the stallion about the prince's demand. The stallion said, "When I told you not to pick up the feather, you didn't listen. More troubles will come." The stallion then said, "Go to the prince and tell him I will bring you the eagle. Just order a pit to be dug where 7 roads meet and scatter all the seeds in the world around it. When the seeds are scattered, all the birds will come there, but they won't eat until the eagle comes. She is their leader. When the eagle flies around, it will be bright, it will make a lot of noise. You hide in the pit. When the eagle arrives, grab him, quickly come to me and get on me. When the birds see you caught the eagle, they will fly at you, but do not let go of the eagle." Solomon was happy and went to the prince to tell him everything the stallion said. The prince ordered his men to do everything Solomon asked. Solomon got on his magical stallion and went on his way. When he reached the place where the 7 roads met, he hid the stallion, scattered the seeds, sat in the pit and waited for the eagle. Suddenly, he heard a strong noise. Solomon looked up and saw a great bird flying, shaking the sky and earth. It was the eagle. When it landed, the birds that arrived earlier started to peck at the seeds. Solomon jumped out of the pit, grabbed the eagle and ran to his stallion. When the birds saw this, they flew after him, but Solomon did not let go of the eagle. He reached the stallion, got on and rode to the prince. Solomon brought the eagle to the prince. When the nobles saw that Solomon had brought the eagle, they became worried. Things did not go as planned. Then they went to the prince and said, "In a big river lives a ram. If Solomon really loves you, let him bring you the tip of the ram's tail. It is made of gold. Why didn't Solomon bring it to you?" As soon as the prince heard this, he called for Solomon and said, "In such a river lives a ram. Bring me the tip of his tail." What could Solomon say? He went back to his stallion, and when the stallion asked what happened, Solomon told him everything. "This is not a problem," said the stallion. "That ram has never eaten salt in its life. At noon, he comes out of the water looking for salt. We will scatter salt where the ram comes out. After eating the salt, it will want to drink water. Then be quick, take out your dagger, slice off the tip of his tail, and jump on my back. If you hesitate and the ram turns to us, it will be your death and mine. In that case, tell the prince, give me 12 poods of salt, and I will bring you the tip of the ram's tail." Before Solomon could open his mouth, the prince gave him the salt. Solomon loaded the salt on his stallion, got on and went to the water. Solomon got off his stallion. He spread the salt and hid behind a rock with his dagger. When the time came, the ram came out of the water, rushed for the salt, ate enough and went to drink water. Solomon jumped out from behind the rock, sliced off the tip of the tail, quickly hopped on his stallion, and rode home. Solomon entered the prince's house and gave him the tip of the ram's tail. The nobles were sad again. They thought and thought of a plan. They went to the prince and said, "You, our good and kind prince, are still unmarried. There is no girl on earth worthy to marry you. Solomon can get you a proper wife. She can only be the daughter of the sun and moon. She lives in the belly of a whale in the ocean. Let Solomon, if he loves you, bring you the daughter of the sun and moon." Greedy, the prince lost his peace at the thought of the daughter of the sun and moon. He ordered Solomon to come. The prince said, "In the belly of the whale in the sea lives the daughter of the sun and moon. Bring her to me. If you do not bring her, you will die." What could Solomon do? He held his head in despair. He went and sat sadly beside his eating stallion. The stallion asked, "Why are you, Solomon, a good man?" said. Solomon told the stallion everything. Then the stallion said, "Go to the prince and take all the women's clothing from his shop. Have the prince also set up a small shop on the shore of the sea." After that, the stallion said, "The daughter of the sun and moon will come to the shop. She will curiously look at everything there. Then, when that happens, do not hesitate, rush into the shop and grab her. Every noon, the whale comes to the shore and the daughter of the sun and moon comes out of its mouth. She will spend a couple of hours letting the wind fan her. Then she goes back into the whale and he swims away. When the whale comes, you will feel very sleepy, but do not sleep." Solomon told the prince everything the stallion advised. The prince immediately ordered a shop to be built by the sea and gave Solomon everything he needed. Solomon came to the shore, let the stallion go, filled the shop with goods, and waited. When it was time for the girl to come out, Solomon fell asleep. For 3 days he slept like that. Then the stallion came to him and said, "Pull a hair from my mane and put it under your eyelid. When you want to close your eyes, the hair will stop you from sleeping." The next day, Solomon did what the stallion had told him. As he sat with the hair in his eye, the girl came out of the whale and went into the shop. She was as beautiful as her name, bright and shining. She entered the shop and started looking at perfumes and other goods. Solomon rushed into the shop and grabbed the girl. He put her on his stallion and took her to the prince. The prince wanted to write a marriage document immediately, but the girl refused. "The sun is my father, and the moon is my mother. I need to let them know that I am getting married, and I must get my golden ring from them." The prince quickly called Solomon and said, "Bring me the chest of the daughter of the sun and moon that is in the belly of the whale. If you do not bring it, I will cut off your head." When Solomon came to the stallion and told him everything, the stallion said, "This is not a difficult task if you are brave. The whale is still lying with its mouth open, waiting for the daughter of the sun and moon. You will climb into the whale's mouth, the whale will swim to the sea. The next day he will come back to the shore. Then take the chest and come out of its belly." Solomon rode on the stallion and went to the sea. When he arrived, the whale was there with its mouth open. Solomon got off the stallion, said, "Goodbye," and climbed into the whale's mouth. As soon as Solomon got inside, the whale swam into the sea. The next day, Solomon returned to the prince with the chest. As soon as Solomon got back, the prince demanded, "Write the marriage document now." And again the girl refused. "The sun is my father, and the moon is my mother. I must let them know that I am getting married and take my ring from them." The prince called Solomon and said, "Solomon, do whatever you want, but you must go to the sun and moon and tell them that their daughter is getting married. Take her ring and return." What to do? Solomon returned to the stallion and told him about the new task from the prince. The stallion replied, "Oh, Solomon, I cannot help you with this, but I can give you advice. I will take you to the shore. There let me go. Above the sea, there is a fish that hangs like a bridge. Its head is on this shore, and its tail is on the other. You cannot walk on it, but do everything the fish tells you. Agree with everything the fish says, but do not answer until you return from across the sea. When you cross over, you will meet summer and winter fighting each other. Agree with what they say, and answer when you return. What will I do when you are not with me?" Solomon became sad. He mounted the stallion, and after a while he arrived at the sea. Solomon got off, hugged his stallion, cried, kissed him, and let him go. Solomon approached the fish bridge and asked to pass through. The fish refused, but Solomon insisted. Then the fish said, "Ask the sun and moon how long I have to hang here as a bridge. If you promise to bring back the answer, I will let you pass." Solomon promised to bring the answer, and the fish let him cross. Solomon walked and met summer and winter fighting. "Peace be upon you." Solomon approached them. "Peace be upon you. Do not get between us," said summer and winter. Solomon told them about his task. Then they said, "We will let you pass, but first ask the sun and moon how long we will fight." Solomon promised he would ask, and they let him through. Solomon walked and met the moon when the sun was not around. The moon said, "Where can I hide you, poor thing? My husband, the sun, will return and kill you." Solomon told the moon about the daughter. The moon fed and watered him, and when it was time for the sun to return, she hid him in a chest. As soon as the sun returned, it yelled across the sky, "What is that smell I smell?" The moon said, "There is no smell." Then the moon told the sun about the daughter. She asked the sun, "If you saw the one who saw our daughter and brought news about her, would you kill him?" "Oh, poor me. I would not kill him. I would think I saw my daughter," said the sun. Then the moon got up, opened the chest, and let out Solomon. The sun and moon asked Solomon many questions. He stayed with them for a week. When Solomon was ready to return, he asked the sun and moon about the messages from the fish, summer and winter. The sun and moon said summer and winter will fight each other forever, and the fish will hang like a bridge forever. Solomon reached summer and winter. We will not let you pass until you tell us what the sun and moon said summer and winter. Solomon promised, let me pass, and I will tell you. They agreed, and Solomon passed between summer and winter. After passing, he said, you will fight each other for all your lives, and went on. Solomon came to the fish. He promised the fish that he would tell her the answer from the sun and moon when he crossed. He crossed and kept his promise. Solomon reached his magical stallion. He mounted it, returned home, entered the prince's house, and gave him the ring. The prince hurried. Hurry, write the marriage document, he said. To this, the girl replied, I do not say that I do not love the prince. But I was born of the sun and moon. I have lived my whole life in the sea. The prince must swim in milk. When he swims in boiling milk, he will be as clean as I am. Then you can write the marriage document. They filled a big pot with milk and boiled it over a fire. When they said, swim, prince, he answered, let Solomon swim first, and then I will. When they led Solomon to the pot, the girl put her ring in his hand and silently said, do not show this ring to anyone. When you undress, dip the ring in the milk first, and then swim. Solomon did everything as the girl told him. He swam and came out. After her, the prince jumped into the pot and was immediately boiled. As soon as his feet showed on the surface, people clapped their hands and cheered, saying the prince is just having fun. The daughter of the sun and moon stood up and said to the people, it was not the prince who brought me here, but Solomon. From today on, Solomon will be your prince. And your prince, who only thought of himself, got what he deserved. He was boiled. Solomon and the daughter of the sun and moon lived happily ever after.